You see, let's talk about God for a second. God is the overall being, um, the universe, the most high, whatever, how people want to think about it, especially when it comes to religion. But you need to understand God is a space. God is your direction of understanding God as you think is something external out of you, which is not, because it has to be everywhere. It has to be within also. But it started from within. You cannot understand something outside of you if you're not going within. See, once you go within, you see other perspective and all the spectrums of lights that's emitting everything and creating our reality. And in the Bible, it's talking about how we are creating our reality. So you need to understand that God is a space, and that space has nothing to do with physicality, but how we are understanding our spiritual natures. You know, the thought and the feeling, the masculine energy and the feminine energy, how they come together and produce energy, mass and density. And this is how we are mentally creating our reality as we go, as a collective. So God already did this first. We're just inside of God, expanding and evolving through it as we have, blood cells inside of us type shit. So this is how we have to understand it so we won't get lost in some type of religion, which is, a legion and dividing individuals from the truth, and, just straying away from the truth. You know, you will understand, you will understand it yourself if you're a Christian or, Muslim or whatever type of religion you're in, based on how you interpret your Bible. It's going to make sense because of universal law and how it's talking about it. But it's not really talking about that because you're not understanding how that's witchcraft, and that's how is that controlling your your mental and your emotions. And your mental and your emotions are not what it's talking about in that way. You need to look at it as these are spaces. This is what space created. Your higher natures and your lower natures, and spirit is just creating a mind to exist in and navigate through that astral travel. This is like the real spirituality, how we are creating our reality through the mind, and it's becoming dense and becoming our reality. um so that's what it is. This is what we're doing. This is how evolution works. As you see, lesser species and insects, evolving, and this is how we're doing it. Spaces within us, which is God, and we have to learn how to meditate and get there. So when it comes to the sun in astrology, that represents your I need to breathe. That represents your sun. I mean, the sun represents the light that you emit, the actions. So that's what we're externalizing. And when it comes to the moon, this is how we feel and react to what we're externalizing. And we have Mercury here, which is the thinking, the communication, and being analytical and going into depth with shit like that. And things of logic, left brain. This is how our spiritual anatomy is. I was gonna say Venus is how we show love and appreciation and care, and that's connected to our emotions. What we care about, what we love, is connected to the moon. The emotions, they're both feminine planets, or should I say chakras, as within so without. Mars is your intent, your actions, your drive, your aggression, how you go about things, how you take action. Not like the sun action, as the sun is like being aware actions, like externalizing action. And with that, whatever you get into that externalization of reality, is the intent you put behind it, aka your Mars, your intentions, your aggression. Is like added masculine energy to it, of willpower and shit, and all that's connected to your emotions and how you go about it. And Earth is how we are creating, how we are here, how we are creating this reality from within with all these chakras and shit like that. It's becoming physical. So Jupiter is how we expand our awareness. It's like far away, it's like traveling type shit. It's like expansion and growth. So it's just all about is spirituality and expansion. Like that's the best way I can say it. So it's just getting into like mutable different type of things and philosophies, and just just expanding its spiritual natures and shit like that. So now we have Saturn, which is how we build our reality through mental structures, like mental grounding, practical solutions. Like when we come up with a logic, when we think about something and you could have, you could think about anything. It doesn't mean it makes sense. But when you make it practical is when it becomes squared out and heavy. And it can condense into this reality. And, you can make anything out of it, a tool, a weapon, carve out a chair, or, make steels and shit like that and build the house. But we're all doing this shit as within first. Spiritual, like those are the spiritual mechanisms we're doing it. And, that's how we build here in terms of being practical. And then we have our, our imaginations. And, that deals with creativity and vibrational connections and shit like that. So, yeah, I think I skipped some shit. I'm kind of smacked right now. So, but yeah, Saturn is, I don't know why I went to Neptune, but Saturn is how we building our reality and the way it is and how it's structured. So, just all the way down to the mental blueprints that we are creating from our mind and bringing it into this reality. And that's how we built the roads, the cities, the bridges and shit like that, the land, carving out the lands. And, now we have Pluto. This is how we transition and transform and put death to certain things. And this goes to anything, how we do it, all the way to the smallest detail to the biggest detail. And even, days and years, however that transformation goes within those time rate, centuries, however, if you get what I'm talking about. So yeah, putting death to your situations when it comes to, whatever doesn't suit you anymore, or even if it happens physical, that's a Pluto trait, is a form of transformation. And putting death to certain traits and characters that you don't want at the same time. Even putting death to certain thoughts and emotions that you no longer want. That's what Pluto is. Those are the energies of Scorpio. Deep passions, deep internal fixated emotions, and your passions, and how you go about it to transform out of yourself and into something new. But this is what we're doing. Like, this is how we are the astrology. We are our natures. We created our natures from within, and we need to learn how to get back to our real knowledge and wisdom, so we can truly prosper and know our truth. We have to know what God is. We cannot believe in God and not help God, and only use selfish things for ourselves and thank God for it. We're not even helping God or the planet, which doesn't make sense. That's retarded. So I'm gonna just leave it at that, and I'll see you later. Peace.